Hands Above the Rest. Starring Isaac, the Joker, Mason.
And Brandon, the Smoker, Roberts.
Comes the podcast.
Episode number 31.
Joker the Smoker.
Yes. Welcome to the episode, guys. What's up, man? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. We all been going through life.
Yes,
Life happened. I'm sorry about that. I mean,
yeah. It does. It definitely does. Yeah, but
I think we worked out a schedule.
I think so. I think we're gonna.
I think we finally got it patted down.
I think so. Yeah, we're gonna aim for a Thursday upload, so you weekly listeners will have it on Monday. If you want a weekend listen, you can have it on the weekend, and we're gonna aim for that once a week Thursday upload, and that'll get us in the groove of things. But we turned the tide on 30 episodes, man. Like you said,
it's unbelievable.
the goal right now is getting to 50, and it's coming quicker than we think. Yeah.
It is.
So
it's going good. It's going great.
It really is, man. So what's new with work and life? Anything newsworthy?
I got a couple topics.
Yeah.
I got a couple topics.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's I don't know. Let's get an overview of this episode. We're gonna cover a couple different things. I got one thing I want to touch on probably towards the end of the episode. A little surprise for the listeners if you tune in all the way to the end. Right? Yeah, definitely you're gonna want to listen to this if you know me at all. So,
Right.
but yeah, I want to talk about a little bit about that there's another hurricane hitting mainland, right? I just heard today that Trump's embarrassing himself over the path of it or whatever. But besides that, I don't think I have any like other political things to talk about or like Columbus, Ohio news. Mike Davis, the news anchor, just got arraigned on child pornography charges.
Dude, if you're fucking focusing on, if your job is to fucking tell the weather every single day, of course
You probably
there's
should.
some weird shit. There's no doubt in my mind.
So yeah, that's but that's all. Like, any topics you got for you want to overview?
I got a weird question to ask you.
Okay.
Then I got a
Love weird questions.
I got like a 50-50. Like I need to work through an issue
Okay.
through you.
Okay. I'd
Feel like that's
happy
the
to
best
help.
way go through it.
Right on.
We got to talk about last time they heard about this. We talked about my brother party.
Okay. Yeah.
I got to talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Right on.
It's fun.
That's good.
And then I mean it's the start of the football week. And,
Hey,
it's
football season's come back around. Yeah. Preseason and all that.
I
Yeah.
talk about that just a little bit.
Hell
And,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it that I got.
That's good, man. Well, yeah, it's what is it? It's September 4th, I guess. So we're coming into the closing quarter of this 2019, which is insane.
Yeah, I know, right?
Somehow it's already the end of this year. We're getting ready to turn the tide on the second decade of the 21st century, which is pretty nuts.
I love it. It's the end of the year.
I know, yeah.
Weather's changing.
Yeah, the fall, yeah, like I'm kind of admittedly do you know what a metrosexual is?
Metrosexual?
Metrosexual, yeah.
Is that like a dude who loves metro shit?
I'm not sure. Let me see.
Is the city metro?
Let me see. Hey, Echo. What's a metrosexual?
The noun metrosexual is usually defined as a heterosexual, usually urban male who pays much attention to his personal appearance and cultivates an upscale lifestyle. The adjective metrosexual is usually defined as pertaining to or being a metrosexual.
Okay, so it's basically a heterosexual male who puts the utmost importance on their appearance. And that's not really how I am, but I am basically I use the term metrosexual to term straight males who are into fashion, because like some dudes really do care whether their fucking shoes match their shirt or whatever. Some dudes don't, and some dudes coincidentally just match unexpectedly. I like to match if it matters and I'm going out or whatever. But now I forget the fucking point I was gonna make. God damn it.
You were talking about fall.
Yeah, fall. Yeah, so with fall, you get to add extra layers. So, like, you know, whether it's long sleeves or coats or shirts, you know, you can layer on top of your outfit. So it's kind of cool.
Onion.
Yes, I'm a metrosexual onion.
Well, onions have layers.
Yes, indeed.
Shrek.
Holla out to Shrek, bro. Can't ever forget that
That
shit.
was the last good Mike Myers movie.
Man, I really wish he would just come out with another Austin Powers, bro. That's my dream come true, man.
I'd be down for that.
A modern day.
I'm glad you care about what you look like. I don't give two fucks.
Yeah, and it's more like and it's cool because I also snowboard in the winter too, and like snowboarding has its own kind of cool fashion too. So
I
like,
love snowboarding, but I ain't into the cool fashion. The only time I was like cool fashion snowboarding,
yeah,
is I thought I was like a real cool guy. And I wore like a white thermal
okay,
shirt, like real tight fitting underneath, and then I wore the fucking old as fuck. It was from my dad. I don't know how me and my brother obtained it, but my brother obtained it.
Okay,
and I stole it from him because he's a cocksucker. It was white, pink, and blue striped like flannel.
that sounds pretty dope.
But it was like down. What would you call that? Vertical.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I had that unbuttoned, so when I was going down the hill,
It was flowing in the wind. That sounds pretty awesome. I still, I kind of want to thrift shop like a retro '80s jumpsuit, like ski jumpsuit, like the big patchy colors.
You're
You know,
talking about like what movie Dumb and Dumber.
kind of,
Like,
yeah.
you're talking about old school, like the green and purple.
Yeah,
Where,
yeah, green,
the
like
pocket
neon
will be,
colors.
like, purple,
Yeah.
fucking pocket,
And the
rest
sleeve
of
will
the
be
side
orange or
green.
some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, just some off the wall neon '80s colors.
I'd be
But
into that. I love snowboarding.
it would just be. I want to go to like Mad River in Ohio, and like
That river is shit.
it is shit. Like I would like to really go to a true resort sometime this year. Like
They say-
it just takes money.
My uncle says Pennsylvania.
Really?
Months ago. He's like, it's so fresh. He said it takes you like 15 minutes to get up the lift.
That's a good resort.
But-
That means it's a significant time getting down.
But he says like 30, 35, depending on what you're doing up there. It could take you an hour to get all the way fucking down.
And yeah, that's cool. I'm actually cool with that because as opposed to Mad River where it's like the lift takes you 2 minutes to get up and you can get down in 2 minutes too. It's
you
like
can get down faster in 2 minutes. than you did
exactly exactly. So there's not much true like
And it's all-
wild fun to be had.
It's all like packed down snow.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about like at Mad River. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
packed down, so you're
It's-
just flying.
They
And-
make unless we
really-
have nice natural snow. Yeah.
And from what my uncle said, and he's been a skier
Okay.
his whole fucking entire life.
Gotcha.
Whatever. He says like unpacked, like fresh snow. He's
Yeah.
like, that shit's unbeatable when you're snowing that.
And I haven't I see sometimes I'll see like footage of skiers and snowboarders and like straight fresh powder in the outback or whatever, like the what do they call it back trails or whatever, backwoods. But I've never ridden on like multiple feet of fresh powder, and that's like kind of a bucket list thing for me because like I can do a backflip like when I was younger, and I would still try it today. I could do like a round off back tuck on the ground, like running round off back tuck. I can do a backflip on trampolines. I can do them off diving boards and stuff. But I haven't got the balls, I should say, to try a front flip or a backflip with the snowboard attached to me because of being at Mad River and it's like mostly ice and not powder. So if I can get into a couple feet of fresh powder, I want to try this front flip or backflip.
I will never try another trick on a fucking snowboard again in my life.
Oh, yeah,
That was at Mad River.
Okay.
And like you said, it's hard as fucking ice.
It might as well not be snow. It might as well be concrete.
Exactly. And I went on one of those like fat rails that snowboarders are supposed to go on. Where you can
And just
sit
like,
and
yeah, you can
swing.
just, go with them, yeah.
I went all the way through that. I like hopped up the end because I didn't want to go down the little thing. I was
Okay.
like, fuck this, I'm cool. I jumped off, but I've never
Did not come out right.
I never rode a fucking skateboard. Like that was my first like board sport, and I'm connected to the motherfucker.
Yeah, you can't get off of it.
Yeah, I can't get just on regular feet.
Yeah.
I like went too far, and my board just never hit ground, and I
Yeah.
just went head first. I didn't have a helmet or nothing on because helmets are for pussies.
Right, of course. Fuck safety.
So, exactly. Fuck yourself up. If you're gonna do something, do it right.
Exactly, yeah.
And I fucking like head just, and like you said, concrete.
Yeah.
That
Hard.
There was no like
Give at all,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was no indent in the snow. It was like on my fucking head. And I just like got up and was just looking. I was fucking 100%
Concussed, yeah.
There's no question about it.
Ouch.
I just kept riding and whatever. But I was like, after that, there's no way. But like you say, like soft.
Yeah.
Snow, like you just fall into it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna absorb all of your body weight. Like I can't.
I'm down into that. Like it might be difficult to get the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as long as it's not, as long as I'm not buried underneath it, I should be able to get out of it.
But if I don't have a fucking concussion, I should be okay standing up.
Exactly. Yeah, I should be able to make my way out of the snow, provided that I have my wits about me.
No shit. So that was the last time I was like, no.
Yeah. Speaking of like winter sports and concussing, like of all the concussions I've had, I don't think I've gotten one snowboarding. I've gotten a couple through contact sports and football, and I don't know if I've had one outside of them. But like that's a real problem, dude. Like not knowing when you're concussed after it happens. Yeah. You think everything's cool, and then like you're just acting like a zombie or something. It's really odd, and like now like I understand like the safety measures they're trying to take in the NFL and stuff, and like MMA, because I wonder, like I've probably had tops 5 concussions in my life. And even 5 concussions on when I got them, it was probably arguably on an underdeveloped brain. Yeah. When at the age that I was, so I don't know in what terms that concussion actually impacted me in my brain's development.
Right, hinder your brain development.
But yeah, but when you do that the whole rest of your life, like with contact sports and stuff, man, it's just it's a risky set of dice to roll to be like, all right, I'm totally good. I'm just gonna keep having this concussion forever.
Have you ever been skiing, like water skiing?
I did wakeboarding once. I tried wakeboarding.
Is that real bumpy? I don't know.
It's the hardest part is getting up out of the water because it's like what do I want to call it?
So you're like moving on a boat through like waves and ripples and whatnot, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. The forward momentum's hard to overcome.
So a brain surgeon, says that like just even water skiing gives people mild concussions. So I guarantee you've had more than 5.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
If you've been in a car accident and you don't claim that, like I guarantee you've had.
Right. Yeah. People probably have had them and don't even know it. True.
Yeah. If you've fallen down the stairs. Like it's just whenever your brain gets weeble wobbled up in that.
And and like
because your brain just sits in fucking fluid.
And yeah, I just found that out recently. Like, there's only room for 2 things inside of your cranial cavity, and that is blood and brain fluid, I think.
Yeah, that's
and it has to. If there's no way for it out, that's when it gets overflowed, and you have like I think I was listening to NPR. They're talking about brain aneurysms or something. But basically, your skull is a cavity in your body, unlike other parts of your body that has like in and out. If there's only one door out and one door in, and if shit gets overflowed, it's totally screwed.
That's why people are drinking from skulls. That's why they're not drinking from femurs, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true. Yeah, I never thought about that. But
it's a giant cavity. But yeah, so they say like the doctors say even like the mildest like bump. Like,
shake,
a concussion is just when your brain.
I picture it like a present on Christmas. You're just like, what's inside here?
Exactly. You are fucking that up.
Yeah,
you're fucking your brain.
You're shaking the whole inside of your cranial cavity.
So it's like it's scary, and they say like, so when was your last concussion?
Probably junior year of high school. So 10 years or so.
10 years ago. They say it takes for a concussion to truly be like healed.
Yeah.
It can take up to 7 years. So you were only 3 years replaced from that bruise on your brain.
That's wild.
And they talk about like people having like getting into an accident, getting their brain hit, some bullshit, and their personality changes for
completely.
10 years.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
And then instantly they just change back to who they were. Like not who they were. They learn. They can still function.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of like waking out of a coma and rediscovering you're a person with an identity.
Their personality comes back. Their bubbly personality comes back rather than them being a bitch and whatnot.
And I think I've heard stories of like it going both ways. Like people changing into a nicer person and also not so like a completely different person.
There's also no reported studies of people getting hit in the head and then knowing how to play the piano. Just to throw it out there. That is completely bullshit. That is a movie.
That's I was going to say, yeah, that's worth writing a movie about.
And then evidently, because we're on this subject, like I don't know if it comes from like brain injuries. I imagine it does.
Yeah.
But they say like exorcism. Like when people have exorcism and they start talking in like Latin and they don't know Latin or Spanish and they don't know Spanish.
Or just tongues, yeah.
It's their brain in the background can record that shit
And it's
you can
just
repeat
regurgitating
it's
it.
just
Yeah.
Because your brain's misfiring. It's going.
Yeah, it's trying to spew some.
Yeah.
It's gathering information out of any fucking realm it can grab it
so
from.
So that's how that happens.
Wow.
Which is interesting to think, because it's seriously like you can hear a song on the radio and then seriously be put into a fucking exorcism of coma, have a brain problem,
and just start singing Taylor Swift or something.
It's just fucking weird.
Oh man.
It's seriously not.
But shout out to all the neurosurgeons researching that shit, because y'all are saving our brains.
Yeah,
if you're a neurosurgeon, feel free to come on the podcast and let us know how fucked our brains are.
Yeah, talk to us about this. We'll do some CAT scans or some other shit.
Yeah, that was MRIs. I don't know what they stand for. There's I got one on my shoulder ones, right? Like you can do MRIs on different things. MRIs are just to like penetrate through the human body and see inside of it, right?
I think it's
kind of like an X-ray.
MRI is muscle.
Yeah, something like that.
And then CAT scans actual like functioning.
Yeah, when I had shoulder surgery, they had to put me in a similar to an MRI machine, and they put like some kind of dye inside of my shoulder, and then they did the scan, and they could see where the blue dye was within the joint.
MRIs suck.
It's like if you're claustrophobic, yeah.
Is that when you got your fucking shoulder dislocated on football field?
Yep. Were you there that day? Yeah, dude. I was in 8th grade. It happened the very first time that I got dislocated, bro. I was on the 8th grade football field, and I.
Coach was there trying to pull it back in.
I know.
He's like, you're not anything. You can go back out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think
so. Yeah.
How it's supposed to go.
And literally, the ambulance had to come and get me because I had never dislocated my shoulder before. And
I don't remember that part. I remember Coach Fote like grabbing your arm and just pulling it. I remember, yeah, it was you. I remember you, and I was like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do that.
And it was a tackling drill, and shout out to Kevin Brake, one of the Brake twins. He tackled me, and I just I landed on my shoulder, or he hit it right, or whatever. And ever since that day, I have had continuous shoulder trauma. It's like it still comes out like if I reach back a certain way, or reach a certain direction, and there's a certain it has to do with a certain pounds like psi, or like per square inch. Yeah, if there's enough pressure on the certain way that the joint pivots, then it'll just fall out of place. And I can sometimes it'll like wobble, like you know how like I don't know what to compare it to, like yeah, you know how like when a shopping cart kind of like when you're pushing a shopping cart and the wheel goes like and my shoulder will just barely do that, like out of place sometimes, and it won't come all the way out. It'll just like slip and then come back in, and it's like you have to gather your breath for a moment because you're like, oh my god. But the real kicker is when it does dislocate, you have to gather your wits about you and calm yourself down, because it will only go back into place once you've calmed down.
Right?
Yeah,
the muscles contract.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to ease that whole socket back in order to slide it back in, and it's like, oh, it's such a weird, unique thing, man.
You want to talk about some weird shit about muscles contracting?
Okay, let's do it.
I got bored one day.
Okay.
I started watching something.
Okay.
About ISIS burning somebody alive.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And I accidentally watched it. I watched the whole thing.
Oh no.
And I have some critiques.
Okay. Okay. I hear you.
Way too many cuts. It seriously looked like a movie production.
Oh god.
Like that's the reason I think I watched the whole fucking thing.
I've heard about that. Yeah, that they have like Hollywood level quality to their fucking movies.
It's insane.
Wow.
It's just like it's weird because like the intro of the guy walking up and
it's
he's, like,
straight
in his
edited though.
short, and his orange like jumpsuit, like prison jumpsuit, and then it'll like pan to some guy like holding a gun, and then it'll pan out to like a whole gang,
militia,
holding guns, and it'll pan out to the other dude just like walking
straight
forward.
Propaganda, man.
And it's like, to me, it was like, this is a movie scene. I can watch this.
Okay.
So he ends up getting in a cage, which I don't understand. If you know you're gonna get burned alive, I don't understand what you're doing. Just run for it. You're gonna get shot in the head. Bam, instantly dead. Maybe get shot in the leg.
Instead of experiencing the excruciating pain of actual beheading.
Depending on even on fire, depending on how big the fire is, you die of CO2 monoxidation.
That's
the good thing first. You'd rather die of suffocation. You'd rather die of drowning in fucking water than getting eaten by a shark, right?
Right.
So you'd rather
die of and CO2 inhalation. Yeah.
At least pass out before you got burnt to death. But I watched because it didn't look real. Like it looked real, but it didn't look.
Yeah,
real.
it's like the middle. It's like B quality films.
Yeah,
like it's not Hollywood, but it's not like backyard shit.
No, this shit looked like Hollywood.
Looked completely legit.
That's
Yeah,
why I was able to watch it.
but you knew it wasn't special effects though.
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah.
The point where
You're like, this isn't CGI blood.
The point where it really hit me
Yeah.
is when the dude's nose just melted off,
Oh.
and I watched that happen, and I was like, yeah, they wouldn't put that in CGI.
Yeah, because you realize it's all cartilage and it's just a hole in your skull.
Just melted off, and then,
Jeez.
like he was dead at this point. And the weirdest part is, like, the fire keeps burning.
Yeah.
And it burns all the water out of your muscles.
Uh-huh.
So then your muscles, like, contract and, like, you keep moving.
And then it looks like he's having a seizure, yeah. I've seen some crazy people eat some seafood. Like, if you put soy sauce on, like, a certain type of octopus or whatever, it'll reactivate the enzymes. Yeah, it'll reactivate the enzymes and it'll start flailing like a fucking...
Reactivate the enzymes. Bullshit, that motherfucker's alive.
Yeah. No, but that's funny you say that about that video, because I was just talking with my girlfriend about... remember the very first beheading video that got popular when we were in high school? Yeah,
but that was like B level. Like you had to have a stomach to watch that.
Yeah,
like it looked like it was made off.
It was a hand cam. Yeah. It definitely looked like potato quality film.
Like this shit was legit.
Yeah, that's just how far. And just today I was listening to NPR and they were talking about one of the most recent. I don't know if it was like an airstrike or whatever, but like there are still militias over there that are like groups lay claim to the destruction that they have. So if a suicide bomb goes off or whatever, it'll be like ISIS has claimed responsibility. It's like these groups literally want notoriety for the destruction that they wreak. And I think our social media sphere and the internet has really done us a disservice in cultivating that kind of.
It's just like the news. They do a disfavor by just pointing out the bad shit.
Just naming the names of people.
The good shit.
Exactly,
then,
yeah.
Bam. Everybody's going to have a happier life. Oh, did you hear on the news?
Yeah.
Betty saved the horse. Oh, that's great news.
Go Betty!
Fucking, did you hear the news?
Right, yeah.
8 people got shot in a fucking house invasion.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't want to hear that every day.
And I wonder at what point in time, like in terms of like civil human interest, that the news turned the tide for like, I can imagine a world where news is only positive, but how can you call it news if you're discriminating against what it brings across?
Well, they discriminate against the good shit now.
Exactly, yeah. So you could.
It ain't news. They only talk about the bad shit, but that's the important shit if you think about it. I think they definitely overblow it.
Yeah,
and instead of saying, "Oh, there's a mass shooting on a bus," say, "Hey, there's been 8 million bus rides this fucking year."
Yeah.
One guy went crazy.
Yeah, if they can only give all of the positive facts along with the negatives.
Fucking asshole bullshit, like freaking everybody out to
or just
like
a little asterisk at the end of the article, like, but this many people lived.
Like you did Barry Bonds in the MLB record book.
Okay.
Most home runs in the career. There's an asterisk there. Just put there like
it's not. Yeah.
Hey, there was 8 million bus rides this year. And
all the rest of them went perfectly smooth.
And there was only one shooting. Asterisk, 3 people died. I don't want to downplay them dying. But I don't want to upplay the fucking shooting.
Exactly. Yeah. Chances are, when you graze over it in history, you're just gonna keep turning the page. You're not gonna focus on the asterisk.
Exactly.
But we have this weird. I don't know.
I want to call it a fetish.
I do too. Yeah. It's a fetish of
People love it, dude.
Yeah, they want to bathe in other people's misfortunes.
The fucking cable fucking murder, what is it, murder porn? Where it's like, 48 hours to live or something.
Oh, yeah, the first 48?
Yeah, or like women killing husbands.
Right.
And that stuff, like, people got off to that shit.
They really,
People love this shit.
And then suddenly Netflix hands out a couple $1 million for people to produce more shit. And it's like, it doesn't matter whether it's news or fucking streaming services. People like bad news. People, stop watching that shit. Watch this show. It's all good news.
And it all goes to like death. You know what I'm saying? And I think people are infatuated with death because everybody goes through it.
And there's an unspoken fear of it. Yeah. And it's just like, well, I mean, we're going to get there eventually, but in the meantime, let's capitalize on other people's misfortunes.
Yeah.
Weird, man.
Fucking Don Henley, whatever year the song came out, Dirty Laundry.
Yeah.
That's the name of the song. It's about a fucking newscaster. Talks about he don't have to look good. He just has to speak clear.
Okay.
He's like, one of the lines is, get the widow on the set.
Oh shit.
Because like he just died, and he's like, oh, let's air his dirty laundry.
Oh damn.
So this happened back in the fucking, I want to say 80s. It might have been in the 90s. I think it's after he left the fucking Eagles.
Okay.
The Eagles left him.
Yeah.
Either way, but it's one of my favorite songs. I actually have the album, and it's fucking.
I'll have to listen to that. I don't think I've ever heard that song.
To me, it's what's like it speaks truth to this day, and it's just one of them things like, how the fuck?
Were you that in tune now from that long ago? Yeah.
And it's just like, why are we still with the way
fixated on it?
Yeah, it's like get the widow on the set. I need dirty laundry. It's just like he's talking about being a newscaster. He's like, I could have been an actor, but I wound up here.
Yeah.
I don't have to look good. I just have to speak clear.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And fucking like one of the chorus lines where all the ladies are singing is like kick them while they're down.
Ooh yeah.
It's like that's what you're doing. Like,
and
that's people go through shit like fucking. You brought up the meteorologist that's looking at
exactly. Yeah, like that's what I was getting ready to say. Like right now in Ohio, if you turn on the news on Channel 10, you'll see news being broadcasted about one of the news broadcasters and what they've done wrong. And it's like, yeah, sure, it's dirty laundry, but like, to me, I kind of wonder whose call it was for them to, somebody had to give the green light. Like, okay, yeah, they were a former employee, but we're still going to run this news on them.
Right.
Instead of protecting their
this big of a case, I don't think.
I think
if you didn't run it first, somebody else would have ran it.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
It's gonna get out there.
But yeah, that's really the question: is what does one news network lose over not broadcasting a story that one gains? And really, it's just viewership, and I don't even I don't even fucking know, man.
Hey, listen to this. This is news for y'all.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about this this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. And speaking of, what'd you say? Did you say you had a question for me, or like a 50-50 or some shit?
Yeah, it's 50-50. I want to know if it's...
50-50.
Well, it's not really a 50-50. It's more like, I want to know...
Phone a friend?
If this happens, and I'm going to have to put on my science coat. So I want you to put on your science coat with me.
All right, let me... My invisible science coat. Okay, there we go. Science code is on. There we go. Yep. All right, science gear's on.
All right. And it might be a little racist.
All right, that's a lot of things are borderline racist nowadays.
And
I'm finding out.
A little homophobic. I'm gonna tie two things together.
50-50. Here we go.
So.
Okay.
I'm a single male.
There you go.
I watch a decent amount of porn.
Okay, as one does.
I was jerking off.
As one does.
Just some porn about a lady.
Okay.
She was white.
All right.
And about a black fellow.
Okay.
And he was black. And I was watching this scene, you call it.
Okay.
And it's a movie. And at some point, he looks at her while he was making love to her.
Okay.
It was rougher than love, but I'll call love
for the sake of the podcast.
Yeah. And he was like, excuse my language. He was like, you like that nigga dick, don't you? And she came back with, yeah, give me that nigga dick. Right. It's not racist. I'm paraphrasing.
Exactly. It's paraphrase quoting.
Yes. So, I'm drinking off of this. And I'm like, I don't need this in my porn. Because this is like a hate crime. And I could be like part of the Ku Klux Klan. Like, they're probably going to hit me up if I finish to this. They're probably watching, you know?
They got some feelers out there,
I don't need that in my life. But evidently there is a large portion of porn that revolves
dedicated around
like racist white women or something like that.
Right.
Saying, give me that nigga dick.
Right.
And it is what it is.
It is, indeed.
I'm not gonna bat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where the homophobic part comes in.
Okay.
Since we have our lab coats on.
Right, you got the science gear on.
It technically can't be gay.
Okay.
You know, because we're doing science work.
Right.
You think there's gay porn where they're like, give me that dick, faggot? like, hard, faggot, hard. Like, I'm just wondering, dude.
That's like, it's a scientific question brought to the proper plateau because you got our science gear on. There's no better place to ask these kind of questions than here in the Science Hour.
I can just stop jerking off while I'm high, bro. That's what.
Let me just cut the camera here real quick, and we'll answer that.
I'm having issues with this. I'm honestly having issues. I don't need to jerk off to racist point. Like that's a hate crime where I come from. You know.
Yeah.
But is it okay because like somebody's fucking her? Like a black guy's fucking her? Because that's the most intimate motion you can get into, I would say.
You know, yeah. When someone having not had another human inside of me, I can only assume that being a woman, having another human inside of you, is probably among the most intimate kind of situations. But also, yeah, like why if you don't want, like, first of all, if first of all,
he's going through so many emotions and so many thoughts right now.
Yeah, first of all, if you are of the African American race and that term is derogatory to you, if you as a male are using it like in the first person, like that's kind of like a referential thing, right? Like you're talking about yourself in first person.
Yeah, like
so,
you should be mad at yourself at that point.
Yeah. If you get mad at other people for saying that word, how can you not get mad while you're inside of her? But it's like, what is that power dynamic? It's like,
yeah, right? Where do you draw the line at?
Yeah, where is the multicultural ethnic line drawn on, like, you can't say it on the street, but you can say it in the sheets.
Right?
It's a weird thing like that, right?
You put a finger in my mouth, can I call you a nigga? I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's like as soon as those sexual lines are crossed, does that social dynamic change to where it becomes like a lusty kind of experience, weirdly? But like you said,
but that's so it's
I feel like there's not
at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Taboo is the perfect word for it, because I think most of those kinds of sexual fetishes are derived out of some kind of like misunderstanding about the whole dynamic itself. So like
so what you're saying is you should really watch out to who you say that word to, because you don't know if they're gonna get mad at you or get sexually aroused and fuck you.
Or it just depends whether they're inside of you already or not. Whether you should say, if they're already inside you, I think you're clear to say it. If they say it first, maybe. And that's, I don't know.
So if they say, I'm so confused.
Me too, man. I don't know whether it's in the sheets or the streets. I don't know if they say it to me first. Does that give me clear? Like if they're saying it directly to me, referencing themselves, does that give me clearance to say it? Or do they have to be inside of me?
Like if a lady was yelling at me or some other girl some other dude that was just like putting it to her and they're white.
Right.
It's like, tell me you like fucking this nigga pussy. It's like, am I allowed to say that at this point? Or is this a hate crime?
Exactly. And also, where's all the porn where it's like, give me that honky dick?
Now, I've looked it up.
Give that crap. Very, very little of it.
There's not a lot.
But that poses a very good question, because like people don't do the same things that they do with like we all view race as like this categorized thing, and we do the same thing with sexuality. But like you said, there's it's like, give me that faggot dick.
That's what I'm saying. Like that has to happen in porn, right?
It only, like, I just don't know. I just don't know, man. I have to take the science code off for this one now.
You take your science code off. I'm gonna keep wearing it. I'm gonna watch it tonight naked. But as long as I have my science code on, I'm good, right?
It's all in the name of research, man. That's all that really matters.
I'll get back at you on that one.
Oh man. That was a good segment, though.
I don't feel good about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, all we're really trying to explore here, people, is the exchange of power dynamics between not only races, but sexuality. Because, your instance was between a heterosexual male-female relationship comparative to a gay relationship. But what you're really targeting is the sexual relationship and that dynamic and how it completely changes people in a bedroom. It really does. Well, whether it crosses like racial agendas or sexual agendas, it's like the bottom line is, when you're horny, it's kind of like Snickers. Like when you're hungry, you're not you. When you're horny, you're not you.
I agree with that 100%.
That's really true.
One of the greatest things I've ever heard, and I try to live my life by.
Yeah.
Sometimes it don't happen. But I believe it was Joe Rogan, and it just said, jerk off first.
Yes, I've heard that before. Anytime, yeah.
First,
Especially when it comes to relationships and stuff. Like,
it's like, okay, should I go fuck this other bitch and cheat on my girl? No, I just jerked off.
and then you jerk off and you're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, what was I thinking? I'm a silly goose.
Exactly, I'm a silly goose, just all goosed up, bro.
Yeah, exactly, all goosed up. That's what we're gonna call it. When someone's horny, just put all goosed up.
All
Dude,
Hashtag all goosed up.
we need to make a shirt that has a goose head, like just all the way up.
Yeah, I'm almost like
all goosed up, like maybe out of his mouth, all goosed up, but he's extending his neck. He looks like a fucking
almost
giraffe.
like it's looking being choked. Yeah.
He looks like a giraffe, dude. He looks like he was part of that goose porn.
Right.
That goose. What was that blood sport from the last episode?
Oh yeah.
Goose pulling.
Goose poles.
Like he
yeah.
looked like he just went through like 5 rounds of that, and no one hit him yet. He just got hit real long.
just squawking like a goose.
You're just goosed up, bro.
And I think it goes for women too. You know, if it's an important decision,
100%.
just flick the bean first. You know, get that out of you.
Yeah.
Because
if you don't want to be the mistake, like if you don't want that guy to be like, oh my god, I fucked that dude.
Right.
You know what? Maybe you went home with him, go into the bathroom, flick the bean,
Right.
get off.
Come out, be like, what? Sorry, yeah, I just, I made a bad decision earlier. I'm gonna go.
You can still go home and go. I mean, you still go to bed and cuddle.
Right, yeah.
Still say no.
But then, yeah, exactly. You know, but maybe you damage control, so to say, right?
Yeah, that would be a good call. Yeah, because I would be pissed if you were like, hey, we gonna fuck, and then you flick the bean in my bathroom.
And then came out and was like, nah.
Let's cuddle.
I'd be like, bruh, get the fuck out.
Well, wait until you fall asleep and come in your hair, bitch. That was a joke.
Oh, and the jokes are funny because they're true. That's what's up, though. On to the next one. Science hour's over. That was a good one, though. See, dude. But what I like most about that is like you weren't afraid to bring it to the table and just like ask a question, like, "Yo, what's up with this? Socially, what's up with this?"
I'm jerking off. Next thing you know, I got a hate crime going on. I don't need this in my life, bro.
A, it's an automatic boner kill. B, I don't need it in my life.
Yeah, it's like I had to stop jerking off to be like, is
this a hate crime? Yeah.
This can't be okay.
It's not.
The next thing you know, I'm thinking about gay porn, about gay dudes calling other gay dudes faggot, about giving them the dick. You talk about a boner killer, yes, sir, yes.
That was indeed that, and then yeah.
Jerk off the poop porn and people pooping in people's mouths. I don't need that in my life either, but I'd rather watch that.
Then question a hate crime. Well, I'm in my porn.
It's over. There's nothing like
Wowzers, man. That's very, very valid points you bring to the table during the science hour.
Go to bed, try again in the morning, motherfucker. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, man. Well, besides our challenges in the porn categories, I don't know what do we got going on stateside. Hurricanes, bro. Hurricanes.
Talking about hurricanes.
Hurricane Dorian. I thought about this. Check it out. You know how people are like, don't give the mass shooter's name on the news. Like, don't name them. Like, if you name them, you're giving them the fame and the attention they want. Okay? Take that ideology, right? So, you have this ideology that let's not name a mass shooter who killed tons of people.
I agree with that.
Okay? Then you got the National Weather Association over here. They're like, hey guys,
let's name this storm.
This one's named Dorian. We're gonna name an inanimate object and just mode of weather activity that kills people. So then you've now attributed a name to a natural disaster who's killed people, and you're reporting on it.
But they only do it with hurricanes and like snowstorms, right?
I think so, but like I think Dorian's claimed a couple lives. I think it hit Jamaica really hard, or like the Bahamas maybe. It hit somewhere really hard, and like the death toll's at like 20. But literally on the news, they're like, Hurricane Dorian's death count is now at 20. It's like,
can you imagine dying from weather?
do you know how like that hurricane is soaking up the fame right now, being like, yeah, I killed all them motherfuckers. Just going in, riding its horse into the sunset of damaging natural disasters, and it's gonna be hung up on the wall, you know. Right next to, it's probably like buddying up with Katrina right now. Because we named them. Why? Why can't we just refer to them as storms? That's my question.
The storm of 2019.
Exactly, yeah, you know? It's like...
That full circle with Isaac and Brandon. Back to good news.
Okay.
Don't name that motherfucker.
Don't name that storm. Just call it like it is, spell it like it is, pronounce it like it is.
Saying fucking 20 people died. Say the population of fucking Puerto Rico minus 20.
That's true, yeah. That's very true, yeah. Don't give it the credit it deserves.
Yeah, fuck that storm.
Just,
Everybody who's in the middle of that storm, go outside, bare ass naked, and just, cuss at it.
yeah, give it your all.
Yeah.
don't let...
As fast as you can. Hold your breath when you meet water and just keep going.
Just keep going.
I heard the power source of the storm is in the bottom of that water. So just keep going.
You can go. You can unplug the storm.
You will be the hero. That is what I'm telling you.
Oh goodness, man. Yeah. So that's I think the rundown on the main things going on here in good old Ohio life. We got like 20 minutes left. Some random things. Did we cover the stuff we talked about so far? For the most part.
Well, we didn't talk about going over to my brother's house.
Okay, yeah, let's cover that. Yeah.
We got the person I talked to.
Okay.
Who's the reason I stayed there? Because he's a real motherfucker.
Okay. Everybody loves real motherfucker.
It's racist to say white power, and he's white, so I couldn't say that, so I just had to put the fist up.
They know.
So I did that for you, dude. But he said that the yin and yang is fucking believable, and I love it. So high five on that, brother.
Bow. Yes, indeed.
And
Definitely.
yeah, my brother's an asshole, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. So when I said all that shit last week, it's like, no, this dude wasn't lying, because he made my mom leave. Like, he picked her up and started swinging around and said go open up his trunk because he was going to throw her in there.
Your mother?
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
And I went inside, and everybody was like, Brandon, your brother's an asshole. But when I first showed up, because he wasn't that drunk,
Okay.
they were all calling me an asshole. Because
Right.
on Facebook,
Okay.
they put a Facebook post up, and they said, like, fucking end of summer picnic.
Whatever, yeah.
And I just posted on there, nope. 3 days beforehand. That's all I said, nope. I seriously show up there, and there was 6 people who asked me, like, why are you even here? That you're too good for us. And they were serious about it. And I'm like,
Right.
the fuck is wrong with you
taking a screen with some words on it as lifeblood.
No, that's seriously, like, at the end, like, when the last person asked me about it,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, you guys need to stop living on fucking Facebook.
Yeah, and taking it as the end-all, be-all.
What matters here? Me being here or 4 fucking letters on the internet?
Facebook.
Okay, so no.
Have you ever heard of trolling?
So everybody else out in the world doesn't know I'm here.
Okay.
But the people that need to know I'm here know I'm
Are
here. Because
are
they're
here
fucking
also,
here.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiots.
It's a question, man. It's like it's the ultimate question. It's like people will make a stink out of anything they can if they don't have anything else to do.
That's what it is, drama.
It really is, man.
Drama.
People love
That is all
drama
social media is.
when their life isn't interesting enough.
Yeah, if they don't have
And it makes
drama,
me
it's
sad
fucking
because it's like, man, don't you have a hobby? Like, don't you have a passion? Don't you have anything else to do besides focus all of your attention on this one thing and other person that isn't even related to you? Like related, not like family terms, but like in the grand scheme of things, directly related to your personal actions.
I got so upset. Because, I mean, Kevin Hart getting in that wreck, it's news. But there
Was this in the last couple of days or something?
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
I didn't.
He got in a car wreck and
Damn.
broke his back or some shit. Right. But, okay, so you have the perfect, like, example of what you just did and how I live my life. You knew absolutely nothing fucking about it because you're living your fucking life.
Right, exactly.
I had 2 coworkers that, like, knew the whole story and spent, like, 45 minutes, like, talking back and forth to each other about it. And they were, like, one dude knew the story from, like, 45 minutes beforehand and then, like, 45 minutes
They're, like,
later,
comparing notes.
He's like, and she's like, no, from what I heard, it's like, Shut the fuck
up. Yeah.
This doesn't deal with you.
It doesn't affect you at all whatsoever.
And you're taking fucking 45 minutes out of your
work day to talk about
nonsense for them to do with you. Yeah, it sucks. But guess what? Life goes on. You're going to live.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Most of the time.
I'm sorry to anybody else out there that's like a diehard fan or whatever you're going through, but live your fucking life.
Yeah, you know, and it kind of comes to a head when celebrities die because like.
I think there's an appropriate time to mourn.
Yes.
For a family, I think there's an appropriate time to mourn for
celebrities and stuff like that. Yeah.
Especially depending on how that celebrity has touched you.
Has impacted your life.
If
yeah.
Kid Cudi died of an overdose, I would be
right.
I would listen to his music for the next fucking week straight.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to be like, oh my god.
Oh my god, my life will never be the same. Like it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
you never knew him.
Yeah.
But
exactly right.
Yeah. The fact that's what's hard about whether it be celebrities or musicians or artists and stuff. It's like the fact that they are living and have had an impact on your life really isn't any different than if they were dead. And the only way it does is in terms of their own progression of releasing material. If it's a musician, it's music. If it's an actor, it's movies. If it's an artist, it's art.
It has to be good.
Exactly. Or meaningful to you. Good, quote unquote.
Yeah, right. Because art is subjective.
Right.
But it goes back to like Robert De Niro and like Raging Bull.
Okay.
Or his early films. Like he was looked upon like a fucking great. It inspired a lot of people to do what they were doing.
Yeah.
If you watch him now with that fucking bad grandpa or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, God, I did watch that actually. It was actually an entertaining
funny,
movie.
But people fucking like it's not.
Hated him for
You're
it.
not inspired by fucking Robert De Niro. You know
exactly. Yeah. He wasn't playing the role that you had held him up to be this whole time.
Exactly.
And people do that with all kinds of different things, man. They hold this bar up to like what things are supposed to be, and they are sadly let down in the end.
It's hard to meet.
Oh yeah, dude, did you see the one thing I haven't talked about yet? Random side note, shift change. Did you see the extra car out there? The one next to the white Blazer?
I did not.
Well, we'll have to go look at it. I'll have to show you when we get done. Me and my dad finally copped a 1987 Fiero GT.
Heyo.
And it's sitting out there. My very first car was a 1987 Fiero, and it was a base model. And it had manual windows and manual locks and all that stuff. But we managed to snag this one. We've been looking for a long time. We've been looking for probably over 5 years now.
Damn.
Just trying to find this. And sure enough, I went to school at London High School in Madison County. And there was another guy who went to school the same time as me in Madison Plains. And he lived out on 56. And he had a Fiero also, but he had the GT model. And for however the cards laid out, the way they did, he is where he's at in life right now. But my dad basically, through a connection at work, got in contact with this guy's. Basically, he's had this car sitting at his house for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And it's just been sitting there. And me and my dad managed to snag it for a pretty good deal. And there's original everything, bro. It's a GT model. So it's got the 2.8 liter, and it's a 5-speed, not a 4-speed. It's a 5-speed. It's got power windows, power mirrors. I don't know if it's got power seats or not, but it's got the works, dude. And I'm super stoked because my dad is an awesome mechanic, and like this is the car that I'm gonna get to work on with him. Right. And I think we're gonna go like the whole works. I don't know if we're gonna put a different body kit on it, but we're gonna definitely put Lambo doors on it, and like we're gonna make it a kit car basically. Because the Fiero was made, the entire body is ABS plastic, right. And there's a black strip along the whole outside of the car, and all you have to do is take the bolts out of that strip, and all of the body panels bolt off. So then you can buy a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or whatever body kit you want, paint it, bolt those plastic pieces on, and then you suddenly have a totally different car.
Right.
But it was the Fiero was actually the first American-made mid-engine vehicle, which is kind of notorious in the sense of sports cars because mid-engine cars are such a European thing, I guess. Yeah. And I still don't know. Besides maybe the Honda, what is it, the SR or S2000? Yeah. Is that one mid-engine as well? Yeah. And I don't know what the differentiation between mid-engine and rear engine is. Is it like further back, I guess, is rear? But yeah, literally, this little Fiero is a 2-seater, and the engine is right behind your head. So it's pretty cool. I'm stoked about it.
It's nice because the traction's nice on it.
Rear-wheel drive. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's just nice because then you got since it's rear-wheel
the
drive,
weight back there as well.
You got the weight back there.
Yep.
Rather than in the front.
And it sits like if you could sit on the ground in like a sitting position, that's how low this car sits. Yeah, it's crazy.
I sat in a car like that before. It's like, motherfucker, she even just trying to get out.
Yeah, you gotta almost crawl. You gotta like roll out of it, pretty much.
I'm gonna end up doing that with the first vehicle I bought.
Yeah.
Cash money. I've been looking for one right now.
Okay.
And just rebuild, like you said, complete rebuild.
Right.
So I'm waiting for it, man.
It's gonna be fun.
Just
keep waiting, bro. Keep waiting, and it'll come soon. That's what's up.
It's lovely. It's a fucking wonderful thing to do, though. It takes you back. It's just like, hell yeah.
It really does. And if whether you're a I don't know, a motorhead or not, like there's enjoyment to be had in a first car, you know, like not everyone wants their first car back,
right.
But in my case, this is a variation on my first car, and it would be the one,
right,
you know,
right.
It's one that I want to have into my old age because it will always be able to nostalgically remind me of all those times I had.
And it's a decent car. Like the first car I bought outright, it was a decent. It's a truck.
Yeah.
It's a decent fucking truck though.
Okay.
Like they stand for something. So it's one to me. It's just like, all right, buy this motherfucker, rebuild it,
and I
have it for the rest of my life.
I kind of want like an older truck, like a 70s or 80s. Like they're fucking, they look dope.
Yeah.
Just like the way the bodies were cut out and stuff.
Yeah,
they look a lot
looking,
different
man.
than they are today.
I'm looking.
But yeah, well,
that's all I got, brother.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left, and I saved it to the end of the podcast, and it's like probably the biggest news that I have ever had in my life. Yeah. It's a matter of biding time, and I feel like I have been biding time in my life in a lot of different ways because yeah, you know, like life throws you curveballs, and like unless you know what's coming, and unless you're the pitcher or the catcher, you don't know which one's coming,
exactly.
Right? And in this case, you
were not the pitcher or the catcher, you were the batter.
Yes, to some extent, but I'm really beating around the bush, and what I really want to tell all of you guys as listeners is my girlfriend and I, Shelby, are actually expecting a baby. And yeah, it's crazy. You're right. It's really crazy. I told my parents, and I believe she's told hers for the most part. And I asked her just before this podcast. I was like, "Is it okay if I mention it on the podcast?" And yeah, I told her I don't want to make it the caption or the main topic. I just wanted to share it with you guys as listeners because if you do listen to our podcast in its entirety, that's how you'll find out this information, because I'm still not going to put it in the main title, and you know, only the people who really listen to us entirely will know. And even if you do know, it doesn't change your life at all. But I just wanted to share this with you guys because Brandon is the only other person I've shared it with so far, besides my parents. And it's a really intoxicating feeling, and it's exciting, and it's scary, and it's cool. But yeah, so you guys will get to hear the pregnancy stories of we'll definitely have some Joker and Smoker good pregnancy stories.
Good, my dude.
I know, right?
Congratulations.
We're pregnant.
Yeah, we got a Joker and Smoker and a baby. And a baby.
The Joker and the Smoker and the baby. And yeah, so I thought about even like for people who either are potential parents to be or who have ever thought about having children. Like I thought about basically bringing my girlfriend on one episode, and we can kind of do like an episode about like, you know, me and her talking about things and how we arrived at, you know, landing on this decision, because believe it or not, it wasn't an accident. It's just like you reach a point in life where you're like, well, what am I going to do with my fucking life? And to some extent, sometimes having a child is what you want to do. And you want your genes to be passed on, or you want to explore that facet of life, and that's very much where we're at right now. But I feel like there's a big social stigma around it because it is so like, oh, you got pregnant. Like people, I feel like people either look at it as like you fucked up and have made an accident, you fucked up and your life's over, or what the fuck are you doing? I feel like it's only looked upon in those ways. Like people who have kids will reciprocate your excitement because they know, but people who don't sometimes will be like, your life's over kind of thing, you know, when really it's like having
another chapter.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I'm really excited about that. And if you guys are early listeners, we plan to continue to do this podcast, and it would mean the world to me for you guys to stay tuned in and see me grow as a person, and also potentially come May of next year see a newborn baby on this podcast, because that would be pretty cool. Yeah. And if you're watching this in 20 years after that, and you're my son or daughter, all these things, whether I'm alive or not, just take them with a grain of salt.
Now you know. Now you know.
But yeah, this has been episode 31, guys. Thanks for being patient with us. We got a regular upload coming.
It was great.
It's awesome, man.
It's coming.
It's always on.
All right. Look for Thursday uploads.
Science, jack it off.
At you, baby. And now that he's away from the fucking audio and camera, I get to name the baby. He doesn't know yet. And no matter what it's called, I'm calling it Elwiza. I don't care what he says. That's the name of the goddamn baby. I will break into the fucking hospital. What's the baby's name? Elwiza. I don't care. Love ya.